Hello everyone. I hope you all are well. The topic we are going to study today is agriculture issues versus environment.
While agriculture's shares in India's economy has progressively declined to less than 15% due to the high growth rate of the industrial and services sectors. The sector's importance in India's economic and social fabric goes well beyond an indicator. First, nearly three-quarters of India's families depend on rural incomes. Second, the majority of India's poor, around some 770 million people, or about 70%, are found in rural areas. And third, India's food security depends on producing cereal crops as well as increasing its production of fruits, vegetables, and milk to meet the demands of growing population with rising incomes. To do so, a productive, competitive, diversified and sustainable agriculture sector needs to emerge at an accelerated pace. As we all know, India is a global agricultural powerhouse. It is the world's largest producer of milk, pulses, and spices and has the world's largest cattle herd, that is buffaloes, as well as the largest area under wheat, rice, and cotton. It is the second largest producer of rice, wheat, cotton, sugarcane, farmed fish, sheep, goat, meat, fruit, vegetables, and tea. The country has some 195 meter hectare under cultivation, of which some 63% are rain fed, while 37% are irrigated.
Now, let us learn about the three basic challenges faced by the agriculture sector of India, which play a very important role in the development of Indian economy.
These are raising agricultural productivity per unit of land. Raising productivity per unit of land will need to be the main engine of agricultural growth, as virtually all cultivable land is farmed. Water resources are also limited, and water for irrigation must contend with increasing industrial and urban needs. All measures to increase productivity will need exploiting increasing yields, diversification to higher value crops, and developing value chains to reduce marketing costs. Reducing rural poverty through a socially inclusive strategy that comprises both agriculture as well as non-farm employment. Rural development must also benefit the poor, landless, women, scheduled castes, and tribes. Moreover, there are strong regional disparities, that is, the majority of India's poor are in rain-fed areas or in the eastern Indo-Gangetic plains. Reaching such groups has never been easy. While progress has been made, the rural population classified as fell from nearly 40% in the early 1900s to below 30% by the mid of 2000s. There is a clear need for faster reduction. Hence, poverty alleviation is a central pillar of rural development efforts of the government and the World Bank. Ensuring that agricultural growth responds to the food security needs. The sharp rise in the food grain production during India's Green Revolution of 1970s enabled the country to achieve self-sufficiency in food grains. Agricultural intensification in 1970s to 1980s saw an increased demand for rural labor that raised rural wages and together with declining food prices reduced rural poverty. However, agricultural growth in 1900s and 2000s slowed down, averaging about 3.5% per annum, and cereal yields have increased only by 1.4% per annum in the 2000s. The slowdown in agriculture growth has become a major cause for concern, as India's rice yields are one third of China's and about half of those in Vietnam and Indonesia. The environment matters to agriculture because it provides the basis for food and agricultural systems. Agriculture can have positive, that is, converging habitats for wild species, or negative, that is, pollution or soil degradation, impacts on the environment. Environmental degradation or lack of access to the environmental assets undermines food security and deepens poverty, with women and children most affected. The environmental basis of food and agriculture systems is that agriculture uses about a third of world's land surface and depends directly on the wider environment for existence and sustainability. Sunlight, water, nutrients, and a diversity of plants, animals, and microbes all play fundamental roles in agricultural production and ultimately global food security. Farmers, herders, and fishermen often make the best use of their environment through special, locally adapted agriculture systems. These systems dictate their choices of crop and livestock, land and water management practices, production systems, and local institutional arrangements. But the local knowledge in farmers about the environment is crucial in this regard.
Now, let us study about the agriculture's impact on the environment. That is,
First is conversion of forests, grasslands, and other habitats for agricultural use. Degradation of soil quality. For example, 20% of African soils are seriously degraded. Next is pollution of soil and surface water, aquifers, and coastal wetlands through excessive or inappropriate use of pesticides and fertilizers. The other impact is the significant loss of crop and livestock genetic diversity through the spread of industrial monocultures, reducing resilience in the face of climate and other changes. For example, Mexico has lost over 80% of its maize varieties since 1930.
okay, so this is all for this topic. I hope this video will help you in understanding the topic very well. Thank you so much. Stay safe.